What's going on, Blues? Welcome back to Life as an Evertonian. So today, Everton have really laid down the foundations. New infrastructure has been built, and we had an announcement on the official website. They've moved away from the director of football, and they've gone for this approach. It says Everton can confirm four appointments as part of the club's evolution of its football leadership structure, in line with the vision mapped out in May by the CEO, Angus Kinnear. The club has moved away from a director of football model in favour of the football leadership team, made up of specialists in technical development, football operations, talent ID, data analytics, and player trading. Following the comprehensive recruitment process, the club has appointed Nick Cox as technical director, James Smith as director of scouting and recruitment, Chris Howarth to direct the club's football strategy and analytics operations, and Nick Ammon to lead the club's player trading activity. The quartet will work alongside the club CEO in supporting the men's senior team manager David Moyes and the women's senior team manager Brian Sorensen to deliver on pitch success. That's what we hope. Whilst also ensuring the club's football operations, youth development, and ID pathways are working to their optimum. Now, guys, there's a big, write up here in terms of, James Smith. He'll be joining him in September, moving from his position as director of scouting and recruitment at the City Football Group. He will bring a wealth of experience, having joined Manchester City from Man United in 2014, before being appointed the recruitment lead for the City's group, stable of clubs across in the World 2023. Prior to his time at Manchester United, James had been part of Everton's recruitment and insights team for 10 years. Nick Cox, currently Academy Director of Man United. Um, Apparently, this is a coup for Everton, getting Nick Cox. 2019, 3 years after joining United, head of academy operations. In his role as technical director, Nick will lead on ensuring all aspects of Finch Farm at the elite level, covering the medical operations, facilities, and player care departments, as well as academy functions. Chris Howarth comes to Everton with a reputation as one of the most advanced thinkers in sport analytics, having worked with over 14 clubs across Europe through his insights of sport data. Going to just move on. Nick Hammond has forged an impressive career in coaching and recruitment since his retirement as a player in the year 2000. He arrives at the club having most recently worked as transfer consultant both at Leeds United and Newcastle United. Prior his experience as director of football for 13 years at Reading, technical director at West Brom, and so on. Angus Kinnear is delighted with these appointments. He's saying here, obviously, the CVs speak for themselves. They are exceptional operators, usually respecting the game, and an example of the ambition of Everton. And so on, guys. Obviously, it's a big read up, a big write up, should I say? I'm not going to read it all word for word. So, the infrastructure and the foundations, the new foundations, have been built in terms of Everton as a recruitment, Everton as the way we implemented the director of football. It's the infrastructure of the club, how we're going to bring in players, and moving forward in a scouting aspect. I think you can tell and I think you can feel we're probably going to now we're going to start hitting the ground running in terms of players coming in. I believe that. I think July is going to be that month, and there's going to be a pathway now moving into July. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of activity. And I do firmly believe we're going to bring in between 5 to 8 players. It purely dependent on what's going to happen with Michael Keane and Calvert-Lewin. But I still feel, even if if they stay, I still think 5 to 8 players will come in. Obviously, I'm on the fence with Dominic. I'm on the fence with Michael Keane. I think for Michael Keane, it's about what does he want to achieve? Does he want to be fourth choice at Everton, or does he want to help a newly promoted team stay in the Premier League and where he can play in, week out? Um, I think we need a couple of fullbacks. I really, really do. Obviously, linked with Walker Peters, linked with Carl Walker. Can bring them both in. I'd take them both. We need a right winger. We need a centre mid, a predecessor um, of Adrissa Gay. Obviously, we're hoping Adrissa's going to sign that 2 year deal, but we need somebody to come in and take a bit of pressure off him as well. We can't expect him to be playing 35, 38 games a season. We just can't. We can't be reliant and dependent on him. Listen, he's robust and he's a fit lad, and you can't tell that he's digging the age of 37 years of age. I think I've said before in some of my content, I went over to Cape Verde and played on the beach with some Senegalese lads in the 20s, and they can move seriously. They can proper fit lads, and there's something in there in that gene. Let's say that. Yeah, so Blues, really positive news. I think obviously we've been waiting for this announcement, the infrastructure of the club. Obviously Angus Kinnear, a huge integral part of the first stage as the CEO and building his team. The recruitment process now for Everton is key, working alongside David Moyes. And I think it's going to be a real big summer for us. Listen, we don't know how much we've got to spend, but we know David Moyes works really well on a low budget anyway. And I don't think we're going to have a low budget. I think there's going to be money there to spend. But I can really see 5 to 8 players coming in. Even if Dominic stays, could bring in another striker as well. Definitely a right-sided centre mid, as I've said. A couple of fullbacks. I do like the sound of Walker Peters because he can play on both flanks. I will take Kyle Walker if it can get done. I know we're linked with Richarlison. We're linked with Jack Grealish. We're linked with many. We're linked with the Barry from Villarreal. So busy times are coming. I really feel that, July is going to be the month for where Everton kick on, and I can see once one or two come in, the floodgate will open up in terms of us bringing in better quality. And when I say better quality, on top of the quality that we've got, and I really mean that, we finished the season strong. We started to see what Njai, is about. We saw what Alcaraz is about. We got a tune out of Beto. David Moyes got a tune out of him. I think he can still improve. It was brilliant to see Dwight McNeil adopt a position on the right hand side, cutting in with his left foot. We dealt well with Tarkowski getting injured. Michael Keane did a job. We saw Jake O'Brien come from fullback into centre half. That's going to be a preferred position. Can we lock down Jared Branthwaite on a better contract? There's a lot happening. New stadium, a lot going on, and it's a lot to be bullish about, a lot to be excited about. This is definitely for me, I would say, the most exciting summer that I've ever had as an Evertonian. And I just know they're not going to let us down. I really believe they're not going to let us down, and we're going to bring in, on top of what we've got, some good quality additions to this Everton squad. So, guys, that's breaking news today. Go and check it out. Go and give it a read on Everton's official website. And I will see you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.